The cafe fell completely
You
silent.
liar!
A
How
successful
dare you come in
CEO
here?
had just
You
slapped a
ruin
quiet
everything you
single father
touch.
in front
Get
of
out of my
everyone.
sight right
Coffee
now.
cups stopped halfway to people's lips.
How dare
Phones
you
came
speak
out.
to me like that?
No one expected what
you have
happened
no
next.
right to be here.
Because just seconds later, the CEO's own bodyguard looked at the man's face, noticed a long scar running across his forehead, and whispered words that changed everything. Before we begin, if you enjoy heartwarming stories that remind us how powerful kindness can be, please subscribe to Kindness Moments. Give this video a like, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories that bring people together. It was a rainy Tuesday morning in downtown Chicago. Marcus Johnson, a 38-year-old black single father, sat quietly in the corner of a cozy cafe with his 8-year-old daughter, Ava. Marcus wore a clean but worn blue jacket and old work boots. His hands were rough from years of construction work, and the faded scar across his forehead reminded him of a day he could never forget. Life had not been easy. His wife had passed away 4 years earlier after a long illness. Since then, Marcus had worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table and give Ava the childhood she deserved. Despite the hardships, Marcus never let bitterness take over his heart. He always smiled. He always helped others. And he always reminded Ava that kindness costs nothing but can mean everything. That morning, Ava excitedly held a small drawing she had made for her father. "Daddy," she said with a smile, "when I grow up, I want to help people just like you." Marcus laughed softly. "You already do, sweetheart." Just then, the cafe door opened. Sophia Carter, the confident CEO of a billion-dollar technology company, walked inside with 2 assistants and a tall bodyguard named Daniel. Everyone noticed her. She was known for making tough decisions and expecting perfection from everyone around her. The cafe suddenly became busy as customers turned to watch the famous businesswoman. As Sophia walked toward the counter, one of her assistants accidentally bumped into Marcus's table. A cup of coffee tipped over and splashed onto Sophia's expensive white jacket. Gasps filled the room. Without asking what had happened, Sophia turned toward Marcus. "You should watch where you're sitting," she shouted. Marcus stood calmly. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but your assistant bumped into our table." Sophia's face turned red. She believed Marcus was making excuses. Before anyone could react, she slapped him across the face. The cafe became completely silent. Little Ava grabbed her father's hand, frightened. Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He simply looked at Sophia and quietly said, "I hope your day gets better." His calm response confused everyone, including Sophia. But something else caught another person's attention. Daniel, the bodyguard, stared at Marcus's forehead. His eyes grew wide. He slowly stepped closer. "Sir," he whispered, "that scar. Were you in the Riverside apartment fire about 12 years ago?" Marcus looked surprised. "Yes," he answered softly. Daniel's voice began to shake. "You carried a little boy through the smoke." Marcus nodded. "I remember." Daniel could barely speak. "I was that little boy." The room froze. Daniel removed his sunglasses, revealing tears in his eyes. "My mother told me a stranger ran back into the burning building after everyone else escaped." Marcus smiled gently. "I couldn't leave you behind." Daniel swallowed hard. "You disappeared before firefighters even learned your name." Marcus shrugged. "Saving a child wasn't something I needed credit for." Daniel turned toward Sophia. "You just slapped the man who saved my life." Sophia stood speechless. For the first time in years, she had nothing to say. She looked at Marcus, then at Ava, then back at the coffee on her jacket. Suddenly, it didn't seem important anymore. She slowly walked toward Marcus. "I'm so sorry." Marcus simply nodded. "I know people have bad days." Sophia looked down. "No," she replied quietly. "I've had too many bad years." She admitted that after building her company, she had become impatient, suspicious, and disconnected from people. She judged quickly. She listened slowly. She had forgotten how to treat others with respect. Marcus smiled kindly. "We all have another chance." Those simple words hit Sophia harder than the slap she had given him. Over the next hour, they sat together. No business meetings. No titles. Just people sharing stories. Sophia learned how Marcus balanced 2 jobs while raising Ava alone. She learned he volunteered every weekend at a neighborhood food pantry. She learned he quietly paid for strangers' meals whenever he could afford it. Not because he was rich, because he remembered what it felt like to struggle. Ava proudly showed everyone her drawing. It showed people holding hands under bright blue skies. Across the top, she had written, "Kindness makes everyone stronger." Sophia couldn't stop staring at those words. Before leaving, she asked Marcus if he would allow her company to support the community center where he volunteered. Marcus smiled. "Only if you promise to visit it yourself." "I will. And don't come as a CEO." Sophia laughed for the first time that morning. "I'll come as Sophia." Over the following months, she kept her promise. She volunteered beside Marcus. She served meals. She read books to children. She even started a company program encouraging employees to spend paid time helping local communities. Daniel often joined them. Every year, he celebrated the anniversary of the day Marcus saved his life by volunteering with him. The cafe where everything happened placed a small framed sign on the wall. It read, "Never judge someone's heart before hearing their story." Customers often asked about it. The employees smiled and shared the unforgettable story of a quiet father whose kindness transformed lives once again. Because real strength isn't found in money, titles, or power. It's found in forgiveness. It's found in compassion. And sometimes, the greatest act of courage is responding to anger with kindness. If this story touched your heart, remember this. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. A kind word, a little patience, or a helping hand may completely change someone's life. Choose kindness even when others don't. You never know whose future you're helping, whose heart you're healing, or whose life you're inspiring. Until next time, keep spreading kindness, because even the smallest act of compassion can create a ripple that changes the world.